Hello and welcome to another episode of Willow Talk. Adam Peacock here, there being the IPL, is Brad Haddin. Hads, back for another episode. How are you, mate?
Mate, how are you, mate? I missed you. How you been?
I'm fine. I'm great. How are you going in the weird old competition, the weird old world that is IPL cricket?
It's been a up and down start. Actually, we've played some really good cricket. At our best, we've been one of the dominating teams, I think, and at times we probably haven't played as where we need to. So we've got a couple of losses there, but we had an extraordinary result against KKR where we defended that small total, which gives a great feeling. We had an interesting game against the Sunrisers where we skipped our way to 240 and got run down with about 2 overs to go. So, it's been good. It's been a good ride. We're positioned well. We're in the top four with halfway to go. We've got 3 games in Dharmshala, which everyone's looking forward to. So we're keen to get up there for about 14 days. Enjoy that. Maybe hit the mountains a bit, stay away from those billy goats up there, but we'll go for a walk up the mountains and find the waterfalls. But, mate, it's been good. My family's just left, so all good.
Sounds magnificent. How's the pairing between you and Ricky working? Ricky Ponting, head coach, you assistant coach. You've got other people obviously in the coaching staff and surrounded by good support, but you and Rick talking cricket, I'd like that would be just 4 hours of just hardcore cricket chat, wouldn't it?
Only 4 hours. There's 24 hours in a day. And we've got James Hopes, who's mate. He loves the game more than we do. So we're in our element actually. If we want to talk cricket, so no, it's been good. Rick's been good. His biggest strength is to be able to bring a whole group together. Not just your playing group, but we travel with a group of about 90 to 100 people, and Rick the way he makes everyone feel from the management to the players part of it. It's just a real good feel around the group at the moment. So yeah, we can't wait to get back into the back half of this tournament and the important end.
90 people.
Yeah,
90.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, mate, we've got a heap of staff. IPL is a massive production, and that can go to over 100 when families are here as well. So we've got a huge digital team. Social media, as you know, is absolutely massive, and the content the players have to put out is world class. So yeah, which has helped us because we get to charter flights from Chandigarh to where we have to go, because normally when you leave Chandigarh, it's 2 flights either to Delhi or Mumbai, then connect. So we've been pretty lucky there.
Yeah, unreal. And you mentioned you got your family there. Led to believe one of them brought over a bit of an injury with them.
Well, he got the injury over here, actually.
Oh, there.
We had a quick trip to day surgery with Hugo. He was playing classic catches in the pool. Dived for one, took the catch, but happened to knee himself in the nose. The benefits of being so flexible and so young. And he came up and his older brother said, "Oh, your nose is crooked." He didn't feel it. He had no pain. And Hugo's first response was, "I caught it. It's out." And his mum couldn't handle the side of his nose being crooked, so went down, had a look. He said, "Quickly, Dad, put it back in. It's my turn to go and bat." And I said, "Oh, mate, that's not going in by me." So we quickly went to day surgery. He had a cast on. He got it off a couple of days ago, but he took the catch.
That is proof, if you ever, not that I doubt you there, Hads, but proof that that's your son. That's the Haddin one. He's absolutely there.
He asked me to just put it straight back in. And I said, "Oh, mate, I don't think I can." And our physio said, "Oh, mate, this might need." So just quickly went in for day surgery. The surgery was in Hyderabad, actually. So, yeah, he's got his cast off. And he asked if he's right for rugby when he gets home. So good luck.
Good luck. Now, this episode, we're going to spin through what's happening in the IPL. We've got to Ask Had's IPL edition of the Secret Cricket Club. You've sent through all those questions. A reminder, the Secret Cricket Club is on our Instagram page. Have a look. It's just below the profile there. You can get involved. Just follow, join the Secret Cricket Club, and you get advised of things that are happening like this. Some questions for Hads. We've got Sundries, Cam Green firing over in England. Fergus O'Neill taking some polls as well, which is good to see. And it's Anzac Day just around the corner as we record this. We want to hear Hads' favourite memory with New Zealand. Gee, I wonder what it is. Now,
that won't be long.
Exactly. Yeah. But stay for it. It'll be worthwhile. Remember, hit us up on social media if you want to get in touch with the show by searching Willow Talk Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at Listener Sport. If you haven't checked out the first episode of English Willow Talk, I strongly advise you to. You will laugh your head off for an hour. A lot of people want to hear Swanee over again during summer for the Ashes. I think we can organise that, can't we, Hads?
Mate, how good is he? Imagine him with a lunchtime show during the Ashes. Mate, you'd be hoping for a rain delay.
Yeah. Willow Talk lunch hour. I think we might
with
take
Swanee.
With Swanee. Exactly. Now, Mitch has got in touch with us with some unfortunate news. His old cricket club, Glen Waverley Hawks in Victoria, was burnt down last week in a fire. It's a club that means a lot to so many, and if you have the means, we've put the GoFundMe link in the show notes. So shout out to everyone involved with Glen Waverley Hawks. It's a horrible way to end the season, but hopefully everyone can gather around and help out the club and get them up and running before next season. But the GoFundMe link right there. I'm going to chuck a couple of dollars in their Hads. It's in the show notes right now. So shout out to them. Horrible news.
Yeah, that's horrible news. So whatever we can do to make life easier there. Maybe it's we can do a show from there and generate a bit of money. So that's horrible news.
Yeah, we'll sort something out. Plus, leave us a review and follow on in the Listener app, Apple Pods or Spotify. We have to set a new target of leading into the World Test Championship final, which is only 6 weeks away. So we'll have those updates about where our targets we want to hit. We've been pretty good with our targets so far. Let's get into it with Hads, the IPL. So you're middle of the road in terms of where the table is as we record this, Hads. You've got a run of matches coming up with Punjab Kings, but it's really compressed. Aside from a couple of stragglers down the bottom, I think Rajasthan and CSK and Hyderabad, oddly enough, are getting left behind. But the top teams, they're all taking games off each other.
Yeah, they are. It's the top of the table looks, Gujarat Titans, they've been outstanding. We played them in the first game. We were lucky enough to get over them, but they've been dominating with Gill and Butler at the top of the order. They've been really good. Siraj has been great with the new ball. Yeah, and it is. It's that middle of the road where if you drop a game now, it makes things hard. So we're in that situation where we're at fourth. We've got a game against KKR in a couple of days on their home track. Which we've got good memories from last year where we chased down the 260 to win. But, it's important now, especially with tournament plays, is to start to get some consistency in what you're doing. So we've got 3 games in Dharamshala, as I said, which is going to be exciting. But, with the way the top of the table and that middle of the road is going now, it's important to start to get on a bit of a roll and start to get your mojo about the way you want to play leading in the finals.
What are the trends that you've seen this edition? Obviously now everyone's got their head around the impact player.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it felt like this time last year we were talking about 240 plays 240 every second night, but it hasn't quite worked out that way.
Yeah, there's a couple of trends. The big trend, the huge trend is the power play. If you go well in the power play, with bat or ball, that's gone a long way to winning the game. So a lot of the teams that are at the top of the table obviously are taking wickets in those first 3 overs, or on the other side of that, the batters are getting off to a flyer. The one thing Gujarat have done there, they've been the best in the power play with the bat. They've been really good at the top, and that's the trend going through the tournament. The other trend it's been concerning, actually, with the quality of players here is the catching. The catching has been the worst it's ever been in the IPL. Teams have had an absolute nightmare, and you can put it down to dew and things like that, but I just think it's the pressure of the IPL. Of teams, yes, you can do the work, but it's been able to replicate that pressure at training where the younger players and the older players are dealing with packed out crowds and the pressure of what happens when that ball goes into the air. But there have been the big trends. If you win the power play and go well out of that and take your catches, that's been the two biggest trends coming out of it.
Sounds like there's an opportunity there for Hugo Haddin around the franchise's heads. Just consult.
Well, he hasn't dropped one yet. He's got a broken beak, but he hasn't dropped one. Mate, it's interesting. Some of the catches that have been going down, it hasn't been to the standard of a competition like this. You'd expect now, once the tournament gets into the really serious stages, coaches would have had a really good look at it, had a look at technique, why players are doing it, the hot spots you need to put your better fielders. But yeah, it's been a trend that it hasn't been great at all. I've been a bit shocked, if I'm honest, with the standard of the catching around the whole tournament. Some of the teams down the bottom have got horrible numbers.
Geez, I wouldn't want to be a Punjab player to grasp a simple one and have to explain themselves that the combination of Ponting and Haddin. That wouldn't be fun at all. At all.
Nope.
No. Shaking his head. What about the story? Is there any story that jumps out at you? I mean, we took notice here. It made headlines down here, obviously, with the 14-year-old for Rajasthan plays his first game and hits his first ball for 6, if you don't mind. That was a bit of an outlier of a story. Have you got something similar involved with one of your players, a rags to riches type story?
Yeah, I think I mentioned to you our young opener, Iyer, at the start of the tournament. Watch out for this kid. I think he's striking at around 200 in the power play. He's already got 100. But, mate, this kid, mate, you'll see a lot more of him in years to come. He's laid back. The occasion doesn't get to him. If the ball's full, he'll hit it straight down the ground over the top. If it's short, he'll pull it. But he's just one of those stories. It's his first year of IPL. And what I've enjoyed most about it is how calm he is. He knows exactly what he wants to train. He hasn't tried to overtrain. And that can be a big thing in IPL. Players trying to do things that they normally wouldn't do to impress to get the opportunity. But, mate, this kid has been impressive. You talk about the 14-year-old. Mate, that's a year 8 student at school. I don't think it's got enough time. My youngest boy is a year to younger than him, but it's the way he went about it. His first ball, he hit over cover for 6. Then the next over, he got the opportunity to face the other opening bowler, and he went over mid-wicket for 6. So it'll be interesting to see his development now. After that happens, you tend to have a lot closer look at what he's doing. Teams will have a lot clearer plan on how they're going to play him. But, mate, 14 and 27, 28 days, mate, you just got to really look at that. That's a year 8 student taking on the world's best. Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Hey, you mentioned earlier the game you were involved with where you defended 111 and you were in all sorts of heat. You were in the deepest of deepest wells. I think they were 3 for 70, 3 for 78 at one stage chasing, and then somehow it just all twisted amazingly towards the end. Ricky Ponting said after it was one of the greatest wins he's ever been involved with. Are you in that camp?
Yeah, 100%. It was one of those surfaces that once the ball got older, it offered a bit up and down and a little bit sideways. It was a hard wicket to start on. The big wicket was Rahane. Once we got him, and they had an inexperienced batting order, so we sort of knew it was going to be hard for them to start. And once we got on that roll, you could just feel about 7 down that we had it. Then Russell came out, and it's hard work watching J. Russ bat, because he can actually change momentum, and that's his job in 6 balls, and we thought he was going to do that. But we got the better of him. He chopped one on, and it was as good a feeling around the group as you ever feel. We sort of stressed to the players that, mate, enjoy this moment, but you haven't won anything. Take that feeling to the next game and remember that, and we'll try to replicate that as the tournament goes on. But to do a total like that just shows there's a lot of character and belief in the group, and now we've got that needs to stand up going into the back half of the year.
Mumbai have a lot of big names, and it looks like they're finally actually collectively a unit, a pretty formidable unit as well. They had a big win last night. We'll get to Run Risers, who have kind of changed their name this year. It's not Run Risers, unfortunately for them. It hasn't been flowing for them. But Mumbai and Delhi as well. KL Rahul, big player, standing up in big moments, and Starkey as well with that super over where he got them home. So two of the bigger, glamour franchises, Delhi and Mumbai. Are they looking ominous, or is it too early to tell?
Well, Delhi's been Mumbai's been an interesting one because they started this series in a horror, but they're too good a team not to click in the gear, and that's exactly what they've done, and that's come off the back of Iyer and Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma had a slow start at the tournament. You can understand off the back of the Champions Trophy, but he dominated last night again. He's found some form. He's got the perfect match, actually. He bats, and he's a super sub. He doesn't have to field, so he's enjoying the game. But Mumbai have found their mojo. Delhi have been good from the start. Starkey's been outstanding. What he did in that super over and leading into that was why you pay the big dollars. He jammed 12 Yorkers in a row. The game looked gone. They were out of the game till Starkey came on and produced what he did. And then KL Rahul, he's been a really interesting one. He's actually found a different gear this year. He's batted situations really well. He's been their rock in their batting, and he's been the really one in their batting to hold it together. He went out in the super over. He whacked a six to win it, but his form's been red hot, and that means off the back of that, Delhi have been hard to beat.
Absolutely. And, I think we might hear from Mitch later in the show. I'm not sure, perhaps. Ishan Kishan, does this sum up what is happening with Sunrisers Hyderabad? So Travis Head and Pat Cummins, obviously there. Adam Zampa was there, but not there anymore. He got injured. But did you see this dismissal, Hads, where he chased one down leg side. I'll describe it for anyone who hasn't seen it. He chased one down leg side against Mumbai Indians. No one appealed. The umpire, I don't know if he was going to scratch his face or something, but he decided to put his hand half up. The Mumbai bowler turns around and goes, "Oh, yeah, how's that?" And then he gets given out. Ishan Kishan doesn't review it. Ultra Edge showed no spike. He was out. Weird.
I tell you one with that is, as a batter, you know you've hit it.
Yeah.
So as Ultra Edge showed nothing, there was no spike there. But as a batter, you know that's come off your face. His hands and bat was away from his body. You just know. So, and sometimes you get lucky on that Ultra Edge where it doesn't show. He started to walk. No one else heard it. But as a batter, you feel that one come off your face. And I seen his reaction when he got off. When he seen the replay, he was a bit animated and think, "Oh, why didn't I review it?" But if you're honest, you know you've hit that.
Would you have walked, Bradley?
I wouldn't walk. That's the sense of the umpire. But you know you've hit it. And sometimes it's happened a couple of times during the tournament. Maxi did one as well. Maxi, one of our games, absolutely smashed it. He walked halfway off. They reviewed it just because we had 2 reviews left. And it was given not out. And Maxi went back. He said, no, I smashed it. So, yeah, a bit of luck can be involved in that.
So, Ishan Kishan, can we start calling him Gilly?
Yeah, you can. He's explosive as him. But, yeah, mate, I'm telling you know when you've hit one like that.
Yeah.
You can go on technology, what they said and the reaction. But as a player, you know. So, Maxi's was exactly the same. He was halfway off, then got called back because nothing. He said, no, I smashed it.
We saw a couple of those ones in the summer, didn't we, where they kind of glanced off the face, especially where the sticker is, and just the technology can't pick it up. So, anyway, he's an honest man, Ishan Kishan. So, what is going on there, though, with Hyderabad?
Oh, they play a really high-risk game. They've got a surface that they got one of their wickets where you average like 240. They got 270 or something on it in one of the earlier games, and I think Mumbai chased 250. They couldn't quite get there, but they also got 250 as well. But it's interesting. They've also got another one of their wickets that averages about 160 where it takes spin. I'm not sure what number 3. But yeah, their surface is relentless. We were on the back of an Abhishek Sharma 100 there, where we put a good total on the board. But the style of game that they play is really, really high risk. It's great to watch. Last year that things were going their way. This year things aren't quite going their way. Teams understand what they're trying to do. I'll tell you one thing they are doing. They're going to defensive bowling early with them. They're going to your death bowling right at the start, and not allow Travis Head and Abhishek to free their arms up and try to build a couple of dot balls on them, because you know how hard they're going to go. So, yeah, it's been interesting tactics used by the other teams after the way they played last year. So it's been good planning.
And what about you guys? You got a stack of Aussies there. So Aaron Hardy has had to be patient. Stoinis and Maxwell have been in and out. Inglis took his time to get into the lineup. You've used Xavier Bartlett a little bit. Have I missed anyone? I'm not sure. Like the Aussie boys blending in with the local players and some of the stars that you've got. How's that been?
Mate, I think that the best thing about our Aussie players is how they've fitted in with everyone. Our group's been a really good group, and that's off the back of what Ricky wants to create, where everyone's working and in it together. So the Xavier Bartlett and Hardy, mate, this is and Josh Inglis, actually, this is their first IPL. So they've thrown themselves into obviously the cricket side of things, but thrown themselves into everything else. They're around the Indian players a lot. They're talking, mate. They're having a good time together on the bus. It's an interesting ride to the ground. We've got 3 different speakers. Some's got country music, some's got Punjabi music on. So they're all getting on well. But yeah, young Hardy hasn't had an opportunity to play, but he's learning a lot. You can see his game's growing. Xavier Bartlett's been good for us since we brought him in with the new ball. We've made him bowl some tough overs. At times he's bowled 3 in the power play. He's played a real role for us. And Inglis is just starting to find his mojo. His keeping's been absolutely world-class. He took an unbelievable stumping a few nights back where the ball went under his bat. So from an ex-keeper, that was... that was goal from my end. So, yeah, he's been good. Stoinis and Maxi need to find their rhythm. They've had moments where Maxi's bowled well at times, and Stoinis was seen a couple of times he used his power at the end. But, as the tournament heats up now, you expect your bigger players to be playing bigger roles.
How's Xavier Bartlett going with his outfield throwing after what happened in one of those games? Again, for our listeners who missed it, he somehow threw the ball backwards over the boundary when he was about to launch it into the keeper.
It's funny. I was talking to him after that game. That was when we were defending 111.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him and I was laughing. He said, I felt it go because it was a bit dewy and the ball was slippery. He said, I felt it slipping, but I didn't know where it went. And then I heard the crowd reaction. And I said, what do you do? I said, you got to laugh. I said, I've never actually seen it before. And he's one of our better fielders. He's a great catcher, mate. He's done a lot of work. He's a good athlete. It's the first time I've really worked with him up close and personal, mate. He's got as good hands in the outfield as anyone. But yeah, we enjoyed that moment more, not so much in the dugout because the game was on the line, but when we got back to the after party and a couple of beers in, that was good humour when he ran us through that.
Had some good after parties?
Yeah, we have. I think I've explained to you before that you have a get-together after each game, make sure the players eat, but your days are different. You don't really start your day till after lunch, and you don't get to bed to 2, 3 o'clock. And I heard Hill say it the other day, you got to get on to IPL time. Mate, my boys, when they got here, thought, wow, and they're used to getting up early, but they were getting up at 11 o'clock and going to bed at 2. And because you have travel days and you leave so late as well, it's your clock changes. So that's just the uniqueness of IPL, though.
So we're about, halfway through almost. And, leading wicket taker Prasidh Krishna with 16 as we sit here. Joshy Hazlewood's been very good as well with the ball. It's awesome to see him back. So he's putting himself in contention very much for World Test Championship calculations with 12, Starkey with 11 as well. Arshdeep Singh for you guys. He looks a real quality conveyance. He's on 11. And, your batters, though, Hads, that's the room for improvement, I'm guessing, because no one's notched 300 runs or more so far. So if you can get some totals happening in the first 5-6 batters in an innings, things are going to look a little easier for you.
Yeah, if we find some runs, the last couple of games were probably missed runs. But mate, we've got a class batting order there. Expect the captain to play a big role in this next game at KKR. He led them to the championship last year. He knows these conditions well, and he's ready to fire. And watch young opener at the top, young Prab. He's got a couple of starts. Expect some big numbers with him as the tournament goes on as well.
We're going to take a quick drinks break on Willow Talk. Back in a moment, we've got our secret cricket club questions and a bit of county news as well with Aussies. I can't wait for these questions, Hads. Stay there. Secret cricket club questions now, Hads. They're all... I've vetted them, and producer Joel has as well. They're okay. There's nothing untoward. Well, the first one...
your mates?
No. I don't have mates, remember? Tim... He's got a question. How's Maxi going? His fielding still looks elite, but we aren't seeing enough with the Willow. That's Tim's perspective. You kind of touched on it before the break, Hads, but Glenn Maxwell, obviously, when he gets going, the whole cricket world stops and watches. Just haven't had enough of those moments yet. Yeah,
well, the one thing, Maxi's been actually really good with the ball. He's played an important role with us with the ball, probably a different one till he has in the past. We've used him in the power play. And he's got a couple of wickets for us in there, which is hard work as an off spinner. His fielding's elite; it always has it, and he just needs to find some runs. It's not through lack of effort. We've probably used him in a couple of different spots. With the way the tournament's going now, we'll need to find a consistent spot and a role for him, which we have a pretty clear idea what we need going forward. But yeah, he'll play a role as the back end of the tournament comes, especially when the wickets start to turn a bit more.
So I ask, how's it been working with Shreyas Iyer?
I tell you what he is. He's a very knowledgeable captain. There's a lot of data used today, and all teams are well prepared. James Hope's as good as anyone with the data, but the one thing about the art of captaincy, which I always look at, is your gut feel as well. You can give the captain all the information, and once he gets out there, his team. But I'm really impressed with his cricket nous, the way he reads the game, the way he reads the situation out on the field. He's a very, very knowledgeable captain, and that's the one thing that I think will stand us in really good stead going forward is the way he reads the game and reads what's in front of him. And he's a good leader of men. He gets around the boys. He's got a huge respect in the group up. For me, it's that gut feel captaincy that I'm impressed with most.
So out of Shreyas, James Hopes, who's on the coaching staff, Ricky Ponting, the head coach, and yourself, Bradley, who's the biggest cricket anorak? Who could talk the longest about cricket?
Gee, how long's a piece of string? Punter's good. Punter would be hard to beat. I reckon Hopesy might beat us.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon Hopesy's... I tell you, if we're running a 100-metre final, there'll be a photo finish.
All four of you?
it would be probably the skipper's probably just behind in fourth.
Yeah.
But the other three cricket nerds would be right there at the post.
Another question. Mitchell from the northern part of Sydney, who might be over there playing in the IPL, I'm not sure. He asks, what are the golf courses like in Punjab? He's asking for a mate.
Well, for Mitch's mate, I tell you, one of the most important staff we have on, one of our staff members is the pro at the local golf shop, the golf course as well.
Yeah.
He's the most important member of our staff.
Especially for Ricky.
Well, that's a close first and second as well. Obviously, Ricky's the head coach and he gets the best out of everyone. But golf times and be able to get on the courses, mate, that's a different level. So to answer Mitch's question, we've got all that covered. The boys have played enough when they can. Maxi's out there. Marco Jansen is very, very good as well. I refuse to go out with him.
Yeah.
Because they'll bully you if you got up to their standards. So I'd stick more in an Aaron Hardy group rather than with the big boys. But to answer Mitch's question, one of our first staff members is also the pro at the golf course, so that might answer his question.
How is Big Marco going, by the way? You're talking anything about World Test Championship, Australia, South Africa type chat, or is it all IPL with him? He looks a bloody good bloke to have around the group.
Mate, he's a great bloke. I had a good chat with him the other night, actually, about what he does away from the game. He loves his hunting. He loves getting out in the bush with his bow and arrow. And he's lethal with it. So, yeah, I had a good chat with him. Mate, I tell you what, at some stage in his career, he'll be ranked number one test bowler in the world, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think yet he understands on how good he can be, but I think he's starting to. Once that belief comes, he's going to have a couple of year period where he's going to be devastating.
Afan asks, what does a training session look like with Ponting as coach?
3 hours is all we've got. The one thing we meet before most trains, whether that's formally or informally, but he leaves a lot up to the staff to do their job. The bowling coach, the spin bowling, the fielding. He's over everything that's going on, but he leaves a lot. He trusts his staff a lot to do their job and make sure that they're getting better. If he has to come in, he'll ask questions and things like that. But yeah, he leaves it up to his staff to make sure that they're looking after their area. He takes care of the batters. We've got nets in the middle of the ground and out of the nets, and some out the back. So sometimes it's hard to get everyone to go in the middle, but everyone wants to come to the middle and bat in front of punter. So we've got to make sure we manage that. So, but that's a good thing.
Tom asks, what players surprised you the most so far in IPL 2025?
I think I'm not going to name the players, but I'll tell you what I will do is the uncapped players is their willingness to learn, but also how talented they are. Like some of the things that they do, you sit back and look at them and have a chat. Oh, what were you thinking here? This is a part of the scenario in the game, but they do things that we wouldn't think of. And an example of that, I was sitting with Josh Inglis when he wasn't playing, and they're bowling wide Yorkers, and I was thinking, how would you get out of that? Would you lay it off, try to change a field, move across? And he goes, I'll just reverse lap it. And I said, yeah, that's great. But I would never, ever thought of that. But they practice that a lot, and he did it 2 games ago. They did exactly that, and he just reverse lapped it, went over short third man's head. then they had to change the field, and all of a sudden he got the balls where he needed to do. But you've got to be careful when you're coaching to say, I would look at it this way, because the modern game, they see the game a lot different. And so the conversations around with the young Indian kids, the way they see it and what they're thinking, that's great learning.
Quick one from Matt. He asked what you were doing at 14 years old off the back of the wonder kid who debuted for Rajasthan.
Well, I tell you, what I wasn't trying to do is open the bat in the IPL. I think I was just starting to make my way in rep cricket actually, I was just about to make my first grade debut.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Canberra.
Context, like what this kid's doing. So incredible. Yeah.
There you go.
Caitlin asked, will there be a Willow Talk trophy on offer when Delhi take on Punjab? It's in a couple of weeks' time, I think.
There'll be definitely, the loser will have to sign a barbell off.
Can you do it when you get back here? Or are you going to do it over there?
Well, we could have that little bet. I'll throw it out. So whoever wins, the other one has to shout the lunch when we get back home.
Yeah, cool.
With everyone.
Thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
So make sure Joel and yourself are ready. I hope it's not us.
And sorry?
And Healy has to pay for it, not Stark.
Yes.
But exactly. Stark can come.
Yeah, he's invited. Con asks if you could bring one player from the IPL to play Shield cricket, who would it be and why?
Gill.
Yeah.
I think in the next couple of years, well, he's already ranked number one in one-day cricket. I think he's going to be we've seen the crop of Steve Smith, Kohli, Williamson. I think Gill's the next crop. I think he's going to be number one batter in the world in all forms for some time. So he's the one I'd bring.
Shubman Gill. This might be the same answer. Turner's got a question. Is there a player you wish you had in the Punjab Kings lineup that's playing for another team? You can't say that because then you don't want to unsettle the camp.
No, we did really well in the auction. We did. So, mate, you'd take Shubman Gill. Mate, you'd take him straight. He's a Punjabi boy, so you'd take someone like him. But, mate, I like this group we've got.
AJ, as a coach, how do you help manage the egos in the team on and off the field?
I tell you that hasn't been difficult, actually, and I tell you why, because they've all got an appetite to get better, and that's the one thing that we've enjoyed most about this group, is they want to turn up, they want to better their games. Even our young kids to our more senior Indian players want to find a way to get better. And the whole group signed off on that. And we haven't had a session yet where they're not asking questions and they're not trying to explore different things. So we haven't had to deal with that at all. Ego can be a good thing as well, because you want your players on that level. So when they get in those big situations, they want to take it on. But the group we've had have been really hungry for knowledge. And they're all buying into what we're trying to do as a team, the game style. So we haven't come across that. I know teams have in the past, and I've had teams you've coached over here in the past where it can be a problem, but not at all this time.
James, I think we've already answered James's question. What does the day in the life at an IPL look like for you? Well, basically, you're 19 again. You're getting up at midday and then you're going to bed at 3 a.m. And so it's exactly the same. Chris has got a question. What really happened between Glenn Maxwell and Travis Head? And then Marcus Stoinis got involved. There was a bit of a mid-wicket conversation, can we say, Bradley, about what was happening during that contest?
Yeah, there wasn't. It actually wasn't spoken about. They had a chat after the game. It was just one of those, I think, heated battle, trying to get under each other's skin. Travis was hitting the ball at all parts. We were trying to to get a reaction out of him, but it wasn't anything in it. There was no sledging or anything like that. There was just, I think they're just trying to get a reaction out of each other to change the game.
While she asked, what's the best Indian food you've had so far? And please tell me you're not confined to just having club sandwiches off the...
No.
Yeah?
No.
You getting involved?
Well, the one of the things, excuse me, Ricky's brought in, when we go to different home ports, because the Indian guys are all over the country, he gets them to bring their local food in.
Oh, cool.
Dubey, who was from Lucknow, he brought his local food in. We had Prab a couple of nights back. His mum brought in some home-cooked vegetarian food. Everyone went back for seconds. So the one thing we've tried to do is where you go to different parts of India, that local player brings their local food in. It's been absolutely gold. It's great for the players to take some responsibility as well. The parents have come in, so it brings a real good feel to the group.
Has anyone brought in a Vindaloo that's cleaned your earwax out?
Well, there's a few that have been quite spicy, but they look after it. But there's I don't mind the spice. I don't like the spice if I'm at a restaurant, but if I'm at the hotel, I can handle it because I'm stating the obvious. I can get to my room quick.
Exactly. Thomas asks, what are your thoughts on Rooster, Jake Fraser-McGurk, with Delhi so far?
You know what? I think the one thing you've got to remember with the Rooster is he's so young, and he's got guys there like Rahul, who has been around the game a long time. You got Kevin Peterson now there as a mentor. He'll be learning. He'll be disappointed that he hasn't got the output he wants, but I think he'll come back a better player than when he arrived, and that's what you want. You want someone like that to learn, take things in. So, yes, he would want more output, no doubt in the world, but he'll come back a better player.
And Matthew asks, given that you answered how the trends are in the game at the moment, the power play being so important, so maybe I'll lace Matthew's question around that one. What player from the past that never got a chance do you think would have dominated IPL, how it's played today?
I think, and I have a joke with him all the time, I think Mark Waugh would have been a $3 million player. Mate, he could bat, bowl and field. The other one I thought would have been one of the best, and I'm not going to say, like, you have your Viv Richards and your guys like that who would have been great. One of the players I thought would have suited IPL more than anyone is Shane Lee. I reckon Shane Lee would have been one of the best 2020 players we've seen. He just missed it at the back end of his career, but he's an explosive athlete. Didn't like the long form of the game that much. He was out there too long. I think Shane Lee would have been as good as the Pollards, the Hardik Pandyas, if not better in this form of the game.
So back to Mark Waugh, do you laugh at him or with him about the fact that he's left $3 million on the table because he was simply born in the wrong era?
He's left $30 million on the table, Junior. He would have got paid a fortune for years.
That would impress him.
He would have been the best.
So thank you everyone, Secret Cricket Club, for your questions. We're going to rip into Sundries now because Bradley has to get down for lunch and try some of that local cuisine once more that he's on the road at the moment. New South Wales have got a fair recruit in the WNCL for next season. Elise Perry's coming back to New South Wales after 6 seasons in Victoria, so that's a bit of news. Zimbabwe has got their first Test match victory in 4 years. They beat Bangladesh this week. So Zimbabwe, they produced some bloody good cricketers back in the day, but it seems they've been in the doldrums for a while.
Yeah, I love that story there with Zimbabwe getting the opportunity while IPL's on to play some Test cricket. I think while this period's on, I think you should try to find it like Zimbabwe should play in Australian A teams, things like that. With guys away from the IPL, I reckon it's a great opportunity for those countries and Ireland and as well to play some sort of cricket against maybe Australia A. It would be great for our development and it would be great for Zimbabwe's development as well.
Now, it's Anzac Day in Australia on the 25th, obviously, commemorate the legendary Australian and New Zealand soldiers and all that have gone before us to kind of defend the country and involved in battles on foreign fields, starting with Gallipoli, of course. Now, Hads, have you got a favourite moment between Australia and New Zealand? And a little caveat for you, Bradley, you cannot mention anything to do with the 2015 World Cup.
Yeah, I have. I think my favourite moment from Australia and New Zealand clashes personally was my first 100. We obviously grew up watching a lot of test match rugby league, actually, where you first learn about the Gallipoli spirit with Australia and the New Zealand test matches there. But me personally was... the lead up to that series was huge. It was my first time playing against New Zealand in a test match, knowing the history with the two countries. So, yeah, my first ever test 100, actually, at Adelaide Oval against New Zealand. Still my high score in test matches.
It's probably going to stay that way as well, isn't it?
Well, how much I'm scared of the ball now, Adam, definitely.
Cam Green, he's back in the runs as well. Speaking of centuries, he hit one in his first county game and then he cramped up and had a few issues, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's good to see Big Cam back and in the runs. This was always the plan. There was a chance that he was going to sneak in for the back end of Shield. Didn't quite work out, but it's good to see him out there again. And he's an obvious talent. And in English conditions, he's got off to a great start.
Mate, what I love is first game back, he gets 100. What it shows to me is that he's hungry. He knows there's competition for spots now with Josh Inglis scoring 100 in his first test in Sri Lanka. You got young Sam on contract now with the Australian team. So he's got to perform to get back in the team. So the best thing about that is the hunger, first game back, to get 100. Mate, that's a big tick in my book from Green. Huge tick.
Yeah, there's a few Aussies over there in the latest round of county games in Division 1 and 2 that have done some good things. Pete Hanscom's in the runs. Marcus Harris always performs over there. He's continuing to tick the scoreboard over. But one player that's jumped out at me, Hads, is Fergus O'Neill. So the Vic Quick, he's gone over there. He's got 18 wickets in 6 innings so far at an average of 15. That's a pretty handy start to proceedings over there.
Yeah, well, it's normally tough work for the batters at this time of the year in the UK with the wickets. So you'd expect someone like Fergus to dominate, but that's what you want. County cricket's great for guys like Fergus O'Neill to go over and use those conditions. The Duke ball does different things, and you never know that those opportunities might come up in an away Ashes if he masters those conditions. All of a sudden he becomes a viable position when Australia tour there. So it's a great experience, and I love that the young kids are over there.
Johnny Bairstow's averaging over 50 as well. Obviously not at the IPL this year, but still playing some cricket and some pretty good cricket. Is he? I don't know. Is he still around the mark for the English 11 for a big summer for them?
I think it would be great theatre if he was out in Australia. But I think they're pretty well covered with keepers. Is it Jamie Smith? He's turned into a really good player. He has. You got Ollie Pope who can do the role. We've seen him take the gloves when Smith was away in New Zealand. So I think I don't. It'll be you never know. You never say never. But I know the Australian crowds would enjoy it. So
yeah. Absolutely. Now, last one for you, Hads. I did some research, which is unusual for this particular episode. Last one for Sundries. I did notice that across the 10 most recent fixtures in county cricket, there were 8 draws. and there were only 2 results. Now, obviously, weather plays a part, especially at this time of year when it's still a little cool over there and a bit of rain and things. But I did note, this being the Bazball era, and we are told that obviously the England setup is different to the counties because the counties are totally autonomous. They do their own thing and see cricket their own way. So there's no joined pyramid, it feels like, in style of cricket. But of the 27 innings in the last round of county games, only 4 of those innings produced a run rate of 4 or more and over. It's like anti-Bazball. Now, I know you said conditions can be a little tricky there, new fresh wickets that have been undercover for all winter, but that I found that very, very interesting.
Well, is that a few signs that there's cracks there in what England are producing and what the counties want to play? So your research is good there. Let's just watch that space. Let's see if anything comes out of that, because you want your county system and everything mirroring the style of play that you're playing with your national team. So maybe that divide is getting a bit bigger, which will be great.
Oh, divide and conquer. Listen to you. I do think, though, that there's another round coming up this weekend, but I do think if you're a cricketer who's got ambitions there, that to me is the intriguing part. If you're a cricketer who's got obvious ambitions to play for England and you've got that hunger, do you then try and play the style of cricket that Brendan McCullum wants, or are you listening to the coach in your own dressing room at county level and saying, no, just pull the handbrake up a bit, we need to kind of manage things our own way here?
Yeah, well, I'll go another way there. I think sometimes you can read too much into those things. The one thing I would be saying, if I was in charge of a county team, is win me cricket games.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing if you're winning your team cricket games, whether you're getting 130, a 60 under pressure to get you over the line, you get noticed at the level above. And that's all I'd be saying to the players is make sure you're winning cricket games. No matter the style you're winning them in, find a way to win and get rid of those draws.
Oh, well, that's the aim for you with Punjab Kings over the next busy period, Bradley. What's on for the weekend again? Remind us your itinerary.
I've got a couple of days training at Kolkata, and then we're into it. It's 40 degrees outside today, the humidity about 95. So,
terrific.
Mate, I can't wait to do some training myself, then get to training.
Is anyone bringing in some local cuisine, or you got no one from that region?
No, I don't think we've got anyone from this region. So we'll just have to find something downstairs, Japanese or something like that.
Fair enough. Bradley, thanks for joining us for Willow Talk. We'll check in soon, whenever you're available, basically. And I'd love it to be around this game against Delhi.
I think I'll make myself available there no matter what.
Before or after?
And if we lose, I'll be very hard to get hold of.
I bet you will be. We'll send out the search party, perhaps. Enjoy that, mate. Enjoy getting around the joint. It's a fantastic competition, and look forward to seeing how your mob goes in the next couple of games. Good luck.
No worries. Good to hear from you.
That was Willow Talk, everyone, for this week. We'll be back next week with plenty more. Have a great Anzac weekend. Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.